Alright, so I want to talk about event weapons. You can see we got a bunch of tabs up here. Now, when I say event weapon, just to make sure we're all on the same page, I mean a weapon that exclusively came from an event. So our first example here is the first event weapon, Festering Desire, one of the most sought-after weapons in Genshin history. And to those who missed it, myself included, are devastated to this day. So, we were talking about this earlier, about how, wouldn't it be cool if event weapons could come back? Like, maybe as an anniversary thing, right? Every anniversary you get to choose an R5 event weapon to get. So whether maybe you want a second Festering Desire, or maybe you want to get one that you missed, like Festering Desire. And I think you're noticing a theme here. I really want Festering Desire. Anyway, I remember using this on Benny before switching to Skyward Blade. It is basically the best in slot for Benny for a long time. It was really one of his best weapons. But, as someone had mentioned in the chat, I think it was Freakification, was that the only ones people really talk about, or you hear about, are Festering Desire and Cinnabar Spindle. Well, let's go through the whole list. We're going to talk about all of them and just see which ones you guys, or myself, would want a copy of. Whether because I missed it, or because just having an extra one would be kind of cool. So let's go to it. Starting with Festering Desire, obviously I don't think there's much to say about this. It's one of the best swords in the game. It's insane, right? Increases skill damage, increases skill crit rate by pretty notable margins. It's very similar to the lead pipe now. So at least there's a sort of pseudo replacement for this thing now. But it's an ER sword, and it still maintains, like, okay base attack. Like, this thing's great, right? Like, this is like a Furina dream weapon for a lot of people. I only started this game in February. I want them all. Honestly, same. I started this game just a little late, and I took a break at, like, certain points, so I missed a couple. I missed a few really good ones. I would love to have a Festering Desire. Yeah, I think that's true for... most people. I think most people who play this game, if they have a Festering Desire, they probably want a second one. And if they don't, they want one. If you know about this weapon and you don't have it, you probably want one. It's incredible, right? It has its mystique and its reputation for a reason. It's amazing. And it looks cool. Yeah, absolutely. This thing looks cool. I'm not going in any particular order. I'm just going in the order in which I clicked them. Hold on. Let's see if we can get this in... Can I get this in chronological order? Not easily. I'd have to do this like by yeah, let's like, so no particular order. This is just the order I clicked on them. So this is a really good one. I think this is one that kind of gets slept on for how good it is. Maybe because there's just not that many characters who really use this thing, but those that do really like it. This one came from Roses and Muskets back in December 2023. So just under a year ago. And this thing is a very nice claymore. It gives a good healthy chunk of ER, has a decently high base attack, and it gives, I believe, up to 48% attack. So 30% ER and 48% attack. This thing has a lot of stats on it. This weapon has a lot of stats. Yeah, assuming you've done all the Melusine quest lines in Fontaine, this thing is incredible. This thing's amazing. I would argue, as far as the 4-star lineup goes, this is Beto's best in slot. It's Beto's best in slot. It's really good on Kaveh. Like, this thing is just good. And unfortunately, it does have, it looks silly. Like, it's a cardboard cutout with stickers on it. Like, it's really silly. So if you're not down with the silly aesthetics, like, this weapon's awful. But, like, I don't care. It's a good weapon, and I think it's funny. Like, how many of you guys use this thing? Or, if you don't have it, would want something like this? You know what? If we get a Claymore character who really likes the attack and ER again, like, if we get another character like a Beto, maybe, I think this thing gets some like, crazy stonks. I'm not currently using any Claymore characters routinely, and I think that might be part of it too. For whatever reason, I think Claymore might be like the least popular weapon type. I could be wrong, but most people I know don't like Claymores. And then there's me. I love Claymores. I think they're great. Maybe good for Gaming. Oh, yeah, actually. This is really good on Gaming, because he wants more attack, and he also likes having ER if he's having struggles with it. Like, if you don't have the constellations to get him more energy back, like, this is great on him. Ibis Piercer is sort of a weird one. Because you want this for... Like, this really only has, like, one character, I think, that really wants it. Like, maybe two? Well, no. Well, yes, but unfortunately, it's the other character who wants this thing has a 3-star weapon that's just better. But yeah, Ibis Piercer, I feel like you really only use this thing on, like, Tainari and Sethos uses a 3-star over this thing. And Nari has, like, a bunch of better options. The Ibis Piercer's weird. I don't think this one does, I don't think this one has a lot of homes, unfortunately. This one's lacking. Yeah, I've never had a use for Ibis Piercer. Even when I got Tainari, it was like, yeah, I got better options. Funny, I just booted up Genshin, and Sethos is out here right now. How convenient. Got to throw that Ibis Piercer on him. Yeah, this one's from May 2023, so about a year and a half ago. And I've never used it. I've never had a reason to use it. It gives... I mean... Like, this thing gives 160 EM while also giving attack. Like, on paper, it's quite good. It's just... Like, I guess you could put it on Ganyu, maybe, and it would be okay as a free-to-play option, but again, there's so many other options for her. This one's new. This is the brand new one. This is the Catalyst S6K one. This thing's awesome. Ash-graven Drinking Horn. This thing's amazing. So I'm going to assume that everyone here has this. I would be shocked if someone here said they didn't have this thing, because this thing is amazing on a few characters. Like, every health scaler wants a piece of this thing. Like, Milani likes this thing, Kokomi likes this thing, Nervalet loves this thing. Like, there's so many health scaling Catalyst characters right now who think this thing is great. Hell, even Barbara likes this. I have it and I'm using it. Yeah, it's great. Don't have it. Oh my goodness. Oh, Green Inbound. You must have just missed it then. That sucks. Oh. Note it for Kokomi. Yeah, this thing's amazing. This thing's awesome. Yeah, no, throw it on Nuvalet. It's really good on him. It just gives... It's a health thing that gives extra damage. It's literally like, what, 80%? How much damage is it? Yeah, 80% of max HP in like a small AoE? Every 15 seconds? Yeah. Yeah, he kind of likes that. Oh, I'm not using this, I meant. Oh. You should consider it. If you have the characters for it, obviously. If you have the characters to make this... to rock with this thing, holy shit, it's really good. This thing's really nice. Just a nice chunk of damage whenever you want it. I like it. Not much to say on it. It's very fresh, very new. So most people have this, so I don't think a lot of people are hard pressed to get another one. Now, here's a cool one. I don't use this one, unfortunately, but this thing is actually pretty good. This thing's a really fun one. The Luxurious Sea Lord. Literally just a big-ass tuna. Use this on D-Luke, where pan-seared tuna. Very true. But yeah, this is like a very good weapon that gets outclassed pretty quickly, unfortunately, but it has some really fun uses. Like, it's good on D-Luke, because it increases burst damage. And has, like, every time you fire out your burst, you get, like, an AoE damage for, like, 200% of your attack. You hit him with the big fish. So, I mean, again, it's a silly-looking weapon, so you have to be able to stomach having a giant fish as your weapon. Yeah, no, this is actually good on Eula. This is actually, funnily, very solid on Eula. Because, obviously, she wants the attack. Her biggest damage source is her burst, so... Yeah, you can absolutely get this. But this is a 3-year-old weapon, right? This is an old weapon. I think a lot of people would want this just for the novelty. I think, at worst, I think a lot of people would want this just to be able to swing around a big fish. So, to a lot of newer players or players who missed out on this, they just want the fish. And as a weapon, it's solid. There's a lot of characters who like this thing. Like I said, Eula, D-Luke, Beto, any character that has a powerful burst. Any character that has good damage that comes from their burst is going to like this thing. And it's a fish. Mailed Feather, the flower. This one's, wow, this is going on 2 years old now. Wow. This came out, like, around when I started streaming. That's wild. This is a cool Claymore. This is actually pretty good. It only has a couple of characters that I think are good on, like Sayu and Kaveh, and that's really it. Farmed another fishing rod today. Why are you farming so many fishing rods? Oh, no. You only need one. Oh, no. Have it. I was thinking about putting this on Dia. Dia. Is this good on Dia? I mean, EM is pretty universal in a lot of cases. And whenever your elemental skill triggers an elemental reaction, or, sorry, whenever the character or an elemental skill. So if a skill hits or you trigger an elemental reaction, your attack and EM go up by a good chunk. So up to 24 and 96 respectively. That's probably okay on Dia. Yeah, I'd be fine on her. I got the achievement of 500 fishes. Oh no. Are you okay? Are you well? Like, are you gonna be fine? Mailed Flower is Kate's weapon. Good old Kate. I guess you mean Kaveh's weapon? Yeah, like, this is a Kaveh weapon through and through. But you could I'd definitely put this on Sayu. If you're actually seriously using Sayu, this goes on Sayu. This does everything she wants. It gives you attack, it gives you lots of EM. Like, that's it. This thing's the only thing that I think holds it back is that it is very niche. Like, there's not a lot of characters who love this thing. Because it is kind of weird. But, honestly, it's a good piece. It's a good little piece of hardware. It's not bad. I'm working on the 2,000 fish achievement. Oh, sweet mother of God. Are you okay, Sean? Are you okay? Yo, are you two alright? Like, do you guys, like... You want to talk about it? Like, oh no, that's not good. Nope. Are you okay? Nope. Oh no. Missive windspear. This is one that I don't have. I don't have this one, but apparently I've seen this one floating around. So we have an attack weapon, attack polearm. Within 10 seconds after an elemental reaction is triggered, attack increases by 12% and EM by 40 or 48. Oh, this is actually the exact same as the Mailed Flower, but flipped. So instead of having EM main stat, it has attack. And the ability is basically the exact same, only it's locked into reaction instead of skill or reaction. Oh. Yeah, I missed this one. This one's actually pretty good. I think there's a few characters who like, again, stuff like this. Like, I could see this going on, this could go on Cyno. Potentially. I've used it a few times. I had it on Emily. Emily would be a good use for this. Arlecchino, yeah. No, for sure. Like, there's a lot of characters this is good on. This is just a generically good one. Yeah, I missed this one. This came out during my my Genshin break. I would love to have this one. Like, I put this one... Like, if I had to choose between this and Festering Desire, I'd take Festering Desire. But this is a close second. This is absolutely a close second, because I think this thing's really cool. This thing is neat. It's a good weapon. I like this one. It's my Shenhe weapon. I think I've seen a lot of Shenhe users use this weapon. And now with Emily, I think it fits beautifully on Emily. It's unfortunate. Like, that's why I wish, like, a lot of these weapons could come back in some capacity. Even if it's, like, a, temporary, right? Like, or a limited capacity, where it's like, oh, you can choose one every year. Ballad of the Endless Blue. I remember this one. This one came out also... Oh, I guess it's over a year now. Holy crap. This is the poetry event. Yeah, this came out right around the time... it was after Nouvellette came out, and around the time... Oh, good old what's-his-name. Good old what's-his-name! The one that doesn't get reruns, Risley. I don't remember seeing this, to be honest. Yeah, it was from... remember that poetry event from last year? Where it was Hu Tao and Venti hosting like a poetry slam, and you got to just hang out with a bunch of characters writing poems, and then an Oceanid showed up. Yeah, this is what that's from. Yeah, buffs normal and charged attack as an energy recharge weapon. It's very confused in my opinion. It's a somewhat confused weapon, but it's like a newbie weapon, right? I watched it. That event was really fun. I enjoyed that event. It was nice. I thought that one was really fun too. This is a very, very niche weapon, because there's just not that many characters who want energy recharge and normal and charge attack damage. Like, I think the only character who really likes this thing is Nuvi. Like, Wriothesley maybe, but he doesn't really care for the ER. Like, that's where the weirdness comes in, right? Because there's just not that many characters who really value that ER. They'd rather just have attack or, like, an offensive stat. Nuvi's, like, the only one who's like, oh yeah, that energy recharge is really valuable. So, yeah, it's a Nuvi weapon, but there's so many other Nuvi weapons that this one kind of gets buried. Not bad, just buried. This one just came out, so there's not really much to talk about here. We should all have this. In theory, we all have this, and if you don't have it, go get it. Go get it, it'll take you like an hour. Come on, what are you doing? This thing's cool. This thing's, like, really good, actually. Normal and charge attack crit rate, plus an attack scaling weapon, good base attack. Like, this thing's solid. All you need is a shield, and there's so many ways of doing that. I have this sword, no one used it on yet. I was messing around with this thing on a few characters. There's a lot of characters who really like this thing. It's decent on Ayaka, if you like doing the normal and charge attack stuff. It's good on Ayato. It's good on a lot of the physical healers, like Chi-Chi and Jean. Like, they're both pretty good with it. Like, this thing's solid. This thing's all-around solid. Cinnabar Spindle, this is the other one that everyone talks about. If you like Albedo, this is the weapon. Hell, if you like Chiori, this is the weapon. If you don't have if you don't have the premium stuff. Yeah, so this is like a weapon that, if you have Albedo, this is your best friend. If you don't have Albedo, it doesn't see any play. If you have unless you have Chiori. Actually, if you have, if you got, Shalonen, you might have considered, and you had this probably made you very happy. Because you're like, oh, finally I can use this thing. Honestly, this weapon is why I got Albedo. I didn't get Albedo just because I wanted Albedo. I got Albedo because I wanted to use this weapon. True story. That is the reason I got Albedo originally. And you know what? I don't regret it. I love Albedo. I don't use him that much anymore because Chiori pretty much overtook his slot in a lot of spots. I might even start using them together again. But honestly, this thing's sick. This thing's awesome. The other weird EM bow. After elemental energy is decreased, the equipping character's elemental mastery is increased by 80, max 2 stacks. So 160 EM on a EM bow. This thing gives a ton of EM. This one was from Mutual Security. This one's also not that much long ago, about 6 months ago. This was a cool weapon. I had just no use for it at the moment, but this bow, in theory, gives 320 EM. That's a lot of EM for a single weapon, right? Like, in theory, this thing has uses. It just doesn't seem to fit a lot of characters. Like, let's be real, this thing is made for Sethos. This is a Sethos weapon. Like, this is what he's supposed to use. But again, apparently it's outclassed by a 3-star, which is insane. I should try this thing on him. I should honestly give this thing a better earnest try. Maybe this thing stacks up better than I give it credit for. But honestly, it's a Sethos weapon, and when Sethos is best in slot for free-to-play as a 3-star, you know you got problems. I think this thing might beat... Actually, you know what? If you're trying to weave in like Hyper Bloom and more reaction-focused stuff, I think this thing has a better home. I think this thing works on Sethos better than the 3-star weapon. But again, it's only Sethos. Only Sethos wants this thing. Unless you're just using it as an EM stat stick, in which case there's better options for that. Tokubo Shigure. Yeah, another EM stat stick for the most part, but its effect is kind of cool. You know, if your attacks hit an opponent, it will inflict a curse on them. Triggered, it lasts for 10 seconds, can happen once every 15 seconds, and if the opponent is defeated, you immediately refresh the cooldown, and when the character wielding this weapon deals 16% more damage. I believe that goes up to 32. Yeah, it just increases all of your damage against marked targets. This thing's good. This thing's just good, right? This is like a Cookie weapon through and through. Or Kazuha. It's really between Kazuha and Cookie. But anyway, yeah, this thing's just good. If you missed this thing, you know, you probably want it. If you like this weapon, if you missed it, or if you have Cookie, like, there's so many reasons to want this thing. Like, this is a cool... It's an umbrella. Like, this thing is neat. I like this weapon. This weapon's cool. Like, who wouldn't want an umbrella? I have this, I use it for Kaching Aggravate. Makes sense. Like, again, any sword character that wants to do Aggravate or reaction-based stuff, like, this is it. This is probably their best weapon. Unless you have Freedom Sworn, which, I mean, that's a different conversation, right? But yeah, this thing's sick. The Ninja Cookie loves to smack the baddie with a parasol. That is one of the sentences of all time. Windbloom Ode, another one I missed. I feel sad that I missed this one. 3 years and 8 months ago. It's a EM bow. After using an elemental skill, receive Boon of the Ancient Wish of the Windbloom, increasing attack by 14% by 6 seconds. So basically, you just get a little bit of attack. It's just an EM bow. It's not fancy. It's early. It's an old weapon. But you know what? It's solid. This is just a solid all-rounder bow, right? Like, just a good EM bow. Like, I think this thing gets beat out by Stringless in most cases, but having an extra backup, this is pretty good. I wouldn't mind having this one. Like, there's been a few characters where I'm like, man, I really wish I had Windbloom Old. Yeah, I don't have this one either. This one's old. This one's almost 4 years old. This bow is ancient. Absolutely ancient. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people have this one. So I think for a lot of players, it'd be cool to get this one. Just to be able to have it, but I don't know if it would see a lot of use at this point. Bows have come a long way. Dodoco Tails! This one I do have. I like Dodoco Tails. Dodoco Tails is very good. Big old attack book. Made for Klee. Normal attacks increase charge attack damage. Charge attacks increase normal attack damage. This is good on so many characters. I don't use it a lot right now just because I've over time I've gotten 5-star catalysts that can outpace it. But if you have this thing, it's a Klee weapon, it's a Yanfei weapon, it's a Ningguang weapon. Like I said, any attack scaling catalyst that does normal and charges, like, it's so good. Risley likes this thing even. The Tales of Dodoco are very good. And, I mean, it's from the first summer event, too, so this thing is very nostalgic for a lot of people. Again, I don't use it very much. Oh, Wanderer. Wanderer's another one that likes this weapon. But yeah, this thing's really flexible. Because there's a lot of characters that have this playstyle that really like it. So I feel like this would be one of the ones that if people had access to get either, not necessarily another copy, but for players who missed it, I think this would be a high value get. This is the only limited weapon I don't have. That's wild that this is the one you missed. Dialogue of the Desert Sages. This is a good-ass weapon. HP polearm. It's good on only a couple of characters, but damn is it really good on them. Yao Yao loves this thing. Like, the Magical Girl lineup is pretty good, because it's Yao Yao, Chevreuse, obviously Zhao. I'm kidding. But yeah, just free energy generation whenever you perform a heal. Just perform healing, get energy. It's just good. Mika, it's good on. He's part of the Magical Girl lineup, of course. I've been switching between Mika and Chevy. Again, probably two of the best ones. Love Magical Girl Zhao, of course. There's a fourth one in that, isn't there? There's a fourth healer in that can use this thing, isn't there? I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing someone, but I'm not sure. I feel sad for people who missed this one because the event was so good. The event with this weapon was so good! Funny that it's a Sumu weapon, but it looks like it fits in, like, the Millennial series with, like, Freedom Sworn, Broken Pines, and all that. Well, it also came from a Mondstadt event, so that kind of tracks, doesn't it? Who would be great on Zhongli. Love Magical Girl Zhongli. Only if you have a C6, though. If you have C6 Zhongli, this weapon, premium. If you don't, it's still a good stat stick. It's about as good as, I'd probably put this thing as about as good as Black Tassel, which is weird to think about. You need to stop taking Genshin breaks. Yeah, I realized that pretty quickly, too. Every weapon you say, I feel bad for people, are the ones I missed. Ooh, I'm sorry, dude. That sucks. Yeah, this was like legitimately one of my favorite events, and we got a polearm from it that was really, really good. That's like best in slot for a couple of characters who are really strong. It's like, yeah, this is great. Throw it on your Arlecchino because Magical Girl Arlecchino is a concept that is hilarious. I mean, you can't go wrong with this thing. If you miss this thing, damn, that's unfortunate. Because you missed a really good event, too. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Chevreuse is probably its most popular use right now. Especially if you have the C6, because her burst is really good at C6. Because then you can do burst and then do the triple shot. And then the triple shot gives, like, massive bonuses to your damage. You just go bam, bam, bam. And this thing giving back some energy every time you do the healing is... It's good. It's very good. And again, Yao Yao is the other probably... I'd put Yao Yao as, like, equal to Chevreuse in, like, use case. Probably. Just because they're both so strong in what they do. But I think Chevreuse is the more popular one right now. Yao Yao kind of gets put to the wayside, unfortunately. Which is sad, because she's really good, too. But, again, neither here nor there. Wait, wouldn't Magical Girl Arlecchino be Magical Boy since she mothered so hard she became a father? Bailiff, remove his retinas. Alright, last weapon, though. Fading Twilight. This one is from Perilous Trail. I missed this one, too. I don't have Fading Twilight. It's an energy recharge bow. I would love to have this thing. Has 3 states, Evergleam, Afterglow, and Dawnblaze. This is going to be confusing, isn't it? Which increase damage by 6%, 10%, and 14% respectively. When attacks hits an opponent, this weapon will switch to its next state. The weapon changes states every 7 seconds. The character equipping this weapon can still trigger this state while off-field. Oh. Oh, this is just, like, really good, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, this is a, yeah, there's like 1.5 million characters that can use this thing, right? Like, you throw this on your Venti, you throw this on your Yelan, obviously. Kujo Sara, even, maybe. I don't know, that might be a bit of a stretch, but... Actually, no, it's still not even bad. The ER. Yeah, this thing's great. I feel sad that I missed this one. This is one that, like, I missed out on. Because this event came out, Perilous Trail started, basically right when I took my break. So, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play Genshin anymore right now. I'm going to take some time away from it. Maybe I'll come back. I don't know. And then this event came out, and I missed it. And it's sad. Would I understand it's not Yelan's best free-to-play? That's surprising. I thought... Wait, what? Wait, hold on. What is then? What is her best free-to-play? Because I'd imagine this would be near the top of the list, no? It gives ER. It gives a generic damage buff. And it's, like, easily accessible. What's better than that? I mean, like, Favbo has more ER on it, I guess, and more energy potential, but, I mean, you can make up for that. And Sack gives you a second skill application, which is also very good, but does it beat just damage? Like, this gives the best of both worlds, right? You get a nice chunk of ER and a nice chunk of damage. Seems pretty free to me. Like, why wouldn't you want up to 24% additional damage? Or, sorry, 28. My bad. Like, that just seems good. Like, you're getting, at worst, 12% and at best, 28? Like, isn't that just good? For those who are watching this after the fact, thank you very much for watching. As always, cheers, take care, have a great rest of your day, and that's it from me. Bye-bye.